Very special father-daughter duo. We have Ron Howard and Bryce Dallas Howard with us today. They're teaming up for an emotional new documentary, Dads, and we're so lucky to have them with us right now. Good morning, the two of you. I'm so excited to see you. And Bryce, I want to first ask you about the renewed popularity of your movie, The Help. It's everywhere when you turn on the TV. And so much of the country, of course, now supporting the Black Lives Matter protest. And so you actually offered an alternative list of films. Why?
Well, for me, stories are so powerful because they're a gateway to radical empathy. I mean, that's really what the stories serve to humanity. And the best stories are catalysts for action. And so I think right now, especially more than ever, it's essential that we are seeking out stories from Black creators, Black storytellers who center these stories on their experience. There's so many brilliant, remarkable films and documentaries, and that was just something that I for myself am taking on. And so I wanted to share that.
And you guys, we're so excited about Dads. The documentary, it celebrates fathers, it shares the stories from around the world. And Ron, you must be so proud of your daughter, Bryce. But what about her thoughts on fatherhood stood out to you?
Well, it was very interesting because from the moment we began talking about the project, she had a very particular and specific point of view and a real reason to want to make the film. First of all, she wanted it to be very entertaining, and not, not a lesson, offered to people. Although I think there are a lot of great insights. But I think what was interesting to me was that, at this period of time that we've been going through, where society's engaged in a very important and a much needed reexamination of men's roles, relationships with women, patterns and standards of behavior and all of that is vitally important. And yet Bryce also felt like that in her experience, there were so many men who were giving everything they could, particularly to the role of parenting, that she'd observed throughout her life. And she thought it was also important to celebrate that and acknowledge that. And I think she's done a great job of really getting a look and kind of offering a sense of what's always mattered about being a dad and what's possible about sort of really leaning into that job.
And one of the things I love about this documentary is you talk to a variety of different men across the country about what being a father means to them. We actually have a clip of one dad named Robert talking about his son. Let's listen.
My son one day told me that he wanted to be like me. And I know I looked dead in his eyes. I'm like, you're never gonna be like me. I don't want you to be like me. I'm doing everything in my body to mold and shape you to be better than me.
Yay! Happy birthday, son.
Thank you, Daddy.
My son is so smart and so full of life.
Ron, I just want to get your reaction to that clip there. As a dad yourself, to hear a father talk to his son, give that kind of advice, to be different, to be better than me, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I was fortunate, and I came from a father and a line of fathers who did preach that to their children. They aspired to that, and I think I was a real beneficiary of that. But one of the things that I think I discovered in watching the movie, really after it was all put together, that I never thought about too much is, first, men don't really talk about it that much. They talk about work, they talk about sports, they talk about other things. Sure, they mention the kids, but when you see these men talk about it and understand what their emotional investment is in the job, you recognize, first, that we all have that in common. Many of these guys wound up being very emotional and crying, during the course of their interviews, and it's powerful and it's unifying. And I think that's what surprised me the most, is just how much it can really matter.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And Bryce, I know you talked to so many different incredible fathers when you made this. Was there a conversation that stands out to you above the rest?
Yeah. So when I started making this movie, my hope was to profile fathers around the globe. And I kept saying while we were making it, I'm like, oh, we've got to find an expecting father. We need to capture that kind of that before and after that is, fatherhood, where your life is never the same ever again. And about halfway through shooting, my brother and his wife shared with us that they were pregnant. And so he became my expecting father. And there was this day where I was filming, and it was actually my sister-in-law's baby shower. And I was filming the baby shower, and then I was like, "Where's Reed? Where's my dad?" Because I knew that they were in the house. And someone was like, "Oh, they're in the basement." And so I went down to the basement and I was filming them there. And I realized that men have no rite of passage when they become fathers. And here we were upstairs hearing the screams of, countless women supporting Ashley in this venture, that she was about to start, this adventure. And yet my brother was downstairs with my dad, just sort of like, hiding. And it was an incredible experience to get to sort of experience that rite of passage with my brother, get to capture conversations between my dad and him, hear him prepare himself for what he's about to experience. And that's not something I think that we really see a lot. Yeah.
Well, Bryce, I got to say, it's amazing that you had the insight and the thought to come up with this film. Obviously, you were raised by a great dad, and we really appreciate both of you joining us this morning. And we got to say, Dads is available on Apple TV Plus this Friday. Make sure you check it out. I'm sure it's going to bring a tear to a lot of eyes out there.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.